10 years ago or plus, I went to First Fridays. Okay. And, if you're not part of First Fridays with Ryan does a great job of First Fridays. You have to join First Fridays. First Fridays is when you're networking. But here's the thing, I went there and I saw this gentleman jump on stage. He was talking. I put my phone down. I started to record. I started to listen to him. He opened up my mind. He just blew my mind away because the things he was telling me, I knew, but I didn't want to put it forth. He encouraged me to do it. I took notes down. I started to take lots of notes down because what he was telling me was inspirational, not only to me, but to everybody at the table. We were just talking and listening to him. And you have to have your notes. Okay. I have to honestly admit, after listening to this gentleman speak, it's where I really put the pedal to the middle, put the gas in the car, and I started to speed forward. I started to move forward right after listening to him speak. I don't know if I can, but I want to show you this presentation. This gentleman coming up was in 2011, was inducted into the Business Hall of Fame in the museum. Okay, that's in 2011. He has over 350 awards, acclaim awards from different places from around the world, on 3 honorary doctorates, and he's been doing this for over 15 years. Now, I'm telling you right now, you need to have your paper and pen ready. You have to have it ready because I'm telling you, this next gentleman changed my life. And, most people are saying, oh, you're the MC. You usually have to say this because you're the MC and introduce them. But I like to always say, showing is believing. So if I can, I want to do this. There it is right there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me see the round of applause for Dr. Fraser, George Fraser. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Let me see you put some applause up there. Give him a big round of applause as he comes to the main stage. All right. So while we're waiting for him, I guess them to pop him up on the main stage, please have your notebook ready because you're going to want to take down these notes. He always throws out little information, little key things that you need to listen and learn. So please get your notepad ready and we'll go from there. While we're waiting for him to jump on stage, Ryan, can we get Ryan back up on the main stage? That's okay. So I guess we're just getting Mr. Fraser back onto the main stage. But Ryan, this gentleman, I'm telling you, did you see the picture? I searched for an hour to find this picture. Okay, he changed. Like this man changed everything. When I first started, I'm gonna put it back on right there. Like he changed my whole start of my business. Okay,
First hearing him speak at First Fridays as well. And shout out to Warren Salmon that's been running First Fridays for over 25 years, and being able to hear not just his like journey, but the accomplishments, like working for Procter and Gamble and understanding branding, understanding the power of networking. These are things that a lot of times us as entrepreneurs don't get to see the inner workings of massive corporations, let alone build your own, which is
yep.
Fraser Net that Dr. George Fraser is working on. So that's where we have to be able to get these elders in a room, mind their mind for this information so that we can start building from the foundation that they built and not just starting from scratch. So
There he is.
a pleasure. And I got my notepad and pen, so I'm ready to listen and be a student.
Mr. Fraser, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I didn't know how to get on stage, and
That
so I had to call, and
that's
I didn't hit the right button, so I apologize.
don't
And
worry. We
we're
were
on
actually we were actually talking about you in like how you changed my life. I don't know if you saw this. I'm gonna put this up one more
I
time.
saw the picture. Yeah, I saw the picture, and I heard the introduction. Thank you so much.
It
I
was
appreciate it.
listen,
You
you
are
did
kind.
no, it's true. You changed my life, sir. So I hope everybody's ready to put a pen to the paper and take their notes. Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is yours, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm speaking to you live from Cleveland, Ohio. So I have driven to Canada from Cleveland, Ohio over 31 times. It's one of my favorite cities on the planet. I love Toronto. I call it a clean, small, well organized, and beautiful New York. So I'm looking forward to, now that the pandemic is sort of subsiding, coming back to one of my favorite cities on the planet. It's good to see you, good to be with you. I have spoken at many uh, um, uh, First Fridays, Warren Ceremonial. A little shout out to Warren as well. And Ryan, thank you so much for all the incredible work that you do with the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. I cannot think of work that is more important than the work that you're doing, bringing together brothers and sisters to leverage more effectively our collective resources and intellectual capital. Networking, hugely important. Now, I've got a fast 45 minutes of content and presentation, and then 15 minutes of questions. I'm going to make you a special offer to empower you to come to the Power Networking Conference, August the 3rd through the 6th in Houston, Texas, our first live conference in 3 years. And then when it's all said and done with my presentation today, I'm going to answer the most important question in life, and that is, what is the meaning of life? Now, I want to start with the North Star quote of my entire life. I'm 77 years old. I am an elder. Let me ask you a rhetorical question. What is the difference between being smart and being wise? People who are smart know what they want. People who are wise know what they don't want, so that they can avoid mistakes. So I'm going to speak to you as an elder. Hopefully there will be a few things that come out of my mouth that will be wise. Please take copious notes. But I always start important talks like this with my favorite quote, the North Star of my life, from Stokely Carmichael, who is from Trinidad. My parents are from Guyana, Georgetown. But Stokely Carmichael, back in the 60s, gave one of the most profound speeches, and included in the speech was this statement. I didn't realize how deep this statement was and how deep it went into my conscious and subconscious mind, and really guided my life. So I want to quote this Specifically, I don't want to paraphrase it. I want to give this quote to you as I got it when I was a young kid. I was 18 years old, 1962 or so. Stokely Carmichael, Trinidad, Tobago. No Black person in this country makes any advancement solely based on his or her talent or worth. All individual advancement is based on mass struggle. We make no progress in this world without shedding our blood. Therefore, your advancement and success does not belong to you. It belongs to the people. And if you do not use your success or advancement for the benefit of your people, it is a betrayal of the people who shed their blood for you. I deeply believe that. I am a race man. And a race man or race woman is someone who is committed their time, talent, and treasure into the investment and upliftment of his or her own people first. I said first. I didn't say only. Toni Morrison said the same thing differently than Stokely Carmichael. She said, if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, your job is to empower somebody else. The great African-centered scholar, Dr. John Henrik Clarke from Harlem, the mentor to Malcolm X, said it a little bit differently. Take what you do best and do it for your people. I deeply believe that. And I believe that the key to success for all of us is to do what you love with people that you love. Let me say that again. To do what you love with people that you love. So what I'm going to cover are 3 or 4 important things: leadership, relationship building as it relates to leadership. Where are the real opportunities and big opportunities, and how must you be thinking about this thing called entrepreneurship in the 21st century? Ryan said it, Matthew said it. It is my hope that by the end of the 21st century, that Black people will become the #1 employer of Black people. And every immigrant group that has ever come to Canada or to the United States has understood that. The Jews are the #1 employer of Jews. East Indians are the #1 employer of East Indians. Arabs are the #1 employer of Arabs. We too must ultimately become the #1 employer of our own people, which means we must focus on economic development and wealth creation and building businesses. This is what we talk about at the Power Networking Conference for 4 days. Building businesses, building wealth, and resolving our psychological issues. Wellness, both psychological wellness and physical wellness, because they're connected. So let me touch a little bit on leadership. When you're called to lead, brothers and sisters, you're called to serve. Let me say that a different way. You don't build businesses. Leaders build people, and people build businesses. It's your people who will build your business. There's a beautiful passage in the Bible, John 5:30, a direct quote from Jesus Christ. There are 800,000 words in the Bible. Only 1,200 of those words are direct quotes from Jesus Christ. But it's a fundamental principle. And Jesus said, I of my own self can do nothing. Now, this was Jesus, the Son of God. He couldn't get it done on his own by himself in a vacuum. He needed 12 disciples. One of them turned on him. Judas turned on him. So that left him with 11 disciples. That's a magical number for me. Why, Dr. Fraser? Because I'm not interested in networking with someone where 1 + 1 makes 2. You can do that with any damn body. I'm interested in connecting and bonding and building relationships with another person or other people within organizations where 1 + 1 makes 11. Of the 11 disciples that Jesus needed to help change the world in his philosophy. So this is what you need. Let me define leadership for you. in case you do not have clarity, there are many definitions of leadership, but I'm going to give you an African-centered definition of leadership. To be a leader is to be awake and alert and to be dissatisfied at all times. Yes, we have come a long way, but we have much further to go. Therefore, I am not happy, but I'm motivated by a positive anger directed towards positive change. That's what we're looking to do. We are looking to change. We're looking for our leaders to manage change, to speak change, and to speak growth and systems. Let me say that differently. If you don't have a system, you don't have a business. I don't know what the hell you have, but it's not a business. Something that you can replicate, duplicate, and scale. Are you building a system? Are you building an organization? There are three things that are missing from our people, African people around the world: unity and organization. Are you building an organization? Are you thinking systems? This is what leaders do. This is how they impact others, inspire them and lead them, and then grow the whole. A good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. But a great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. Awesomely important. Outstanding leaders go out of their way to boost the self-esteem of their personnel. If people believe in themselves, it's amazing what they can accomplish. This is what leaders do. Leaders help us understand how to change and the system for change, right? I mean, what did I say earlier? Everything is a system. What is the system for change? Well, the Bible tells us first, everything begins with words. Words are powerful. From words, when we speak these words, as I'm speaking words to you now, hopefully I'm raising your consciousness. That's the second step in change. And as I'm raising your consciousness about certain things, hopefully you get excited about something I'm saying. So, words, consciousness, second step. The third step is what? Passion or excitement. Something you hear that excites you and you get passionate about it. That's the third step in change. The fourth step, action. You don't take action just from words, right? Words, consciousness, you get excited about what you heard, and then you take action. That's the fourth step. And then the fifth step is, in fact, change. Mama taught me many years ago, what you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you say. What are you doing? What action are you taking? And how are you leading the people that are with you and around you, the people in your network, to, in fact, engage and invest and drive change? This is hugely important. So let me say that real simple. Be the leader that you would follow. Be the leader to those who you will have to have help you build who you are and to build your business. Be the leader that you will follow. That's the bottom line. To be a leader is to understand that you must transcend being good at just functional and analytical or problem-solving tasks. That you must be able to build relationships, brothers and sisters, that will help you create a fabric of personal contacts that will provide you support, feedback, insight, resources, and information. That's called networking. Leaders understand that the alternative to effective networking is to fail. You simply will not reach a leadership position or grow a business or an organization without effective networking skills. Leaders are great networkers. So let's go on to the second subject, networking. How do I define networking? Networking is the building of relationships for the purpose of sharing information, opportunities, and resources. And the emphasis on that definition, brothers and sisters, is building relationships and sharing. Let me say that differently. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. The fastest way to change yourself is to hang out with people who are already where you want to be. This is critically important. Let me say that differently. Don't spend major time with minor people. People going nowhere want you to go nowhere with them. People doing nothing want you to do nothing with them. If you want to change your life, change your relationships. If you are not where you want to be in life, it's because you don't have the right people in your life. Why is networking so important and building relationships? Because business is about relationships. Without relationships, you have no business. Without relationships, you have no business being in business. In fact, the business you are really in case no one has told you, is the business of building relationships. Why is networking important for business? You get a chance to meet and connect like you're doing on this platform this morning. You get a chance to meet and connect with potential clients, potential mentors, potential coaches, potential service providers. Why is networking important to business? You get a chance to get outside of your business and open yourself up to new ideas. Seek knowledge. Socrates said that the only evil is ignorance, and the only good is knowledge. Why is networking important? It builds your confidence and it gives you exposure. That's what this platform is doing right now. Why is networking support? It's a way to gain support and knowledge from people who are further along in business and in their profession than you are, so you can learn from other people. What are some of the mistakes we tend to make when we network as people of African descent? There's a whole talk I give on the 7 biggest mistakes that you make when networking that will ruin your reputation and destroy your business. We don't have time to unpack all 7 of them. So I'll start with 7 and quickly do a 30,000-foot view of each until we get to number 1. What's the 7th biggest mistake that most of us make? Now, I have been networking for 40 years. I've written 6 best-selling books on the subject. I've given out 31,000 business cards in 41 years. And people used to say, Dr. Fraser, aren't you worried about people bugging the hell out of you? You got all your information on your card, 31 cards. Now, let me qualify something. I said I've given out. I've given out by request. I don't give my business cards to people randomly. I don't walk around events passing out cards. I believe my card is a gift. Your card is a gift. I give it when it's requested. But here's what I know about our people. Of the 31,000 business cards I've given out in over 30 years, 99.9999% of those people will never, ever, ever follow up. I don't have to worry. I won't hear from you. It's amazing that the fortune really is in the follow-up. Why don't we follow up and follow through? There are lots of reasons or excuses. but it's a cardinal sin. When someone requests your card and you give it to them, you expect them to follow up. And when they don't follow up or follow through with what they say they're going to do, it creates stress. It weakens the potential bond and trust between two people. Do what you say you're going to do. You ask for a card, follow up. There is no day in my life that by the end of the day, I have not followed up on every text message, every email, and every phone call. I will not go to bed until I have followed up. I try to follow up within 24 hours. And oftentimes when I follow up, people are pleasantly surprised. Thank you for following up so quickly. Thank you for following through so quickly, for responding so quickly. It bonds you and builds trust with you and the other person. Follow up. It's a huge mistake. Do it within at least 48 hours, but preferably 24 hours. That's the seventh biggest mistake we make. The fortune is in the follow-up. The sixth biggest mistake we tend to make is we make a poor first impression. The people are not, when you're out meeting people and networking people, and as you will be meeting and talking with people on this incredible platform, they're not interested in your life story. They're interested in knowing enough about you that will pique their interest to want to know more about you later, not right now. You got about 15 to 20 seconds to get their attention. So your elevator pitch, which should last 15 to 20 seconds, is critical. That's all they're interested in. And if you pique their interest, they're going to request your card. If you don't pique their interest, they're not going to request your card. That's how I see it. So here are the 5 components of a great elevator talk pitch. Who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Those are the first 3 elements. Who you are, where you're from, and what you do. The last 2 are the most important. The last 2. How do you add real value? And if you add real value, the 5th element is quantify that value and prove it to me. So what are the 5 key elements of a beautifully structured 20-second presentation to pique people's interest so that they'll want to know more about you? Who you are, where you're from, what you do, how do you add real value, and then quantify it. So let me give you my little elevator pitch that I've massaged and have built over a long period of time. Hi, I'm Dr. George Fraser from Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Brooklyn, New York. I'm the CEO and founder of FraserNet Incorporated. I write books and speak on economic development and wealth creation and building effective relationships. I help people turn acquaintances into friends and contacts into contracts. And over the last 40 years, I've helped over 10,000 people secure nearly $2 billion in new revenue. Good to meet you. That's it. I fulfilled all the 5 elements. Who am I? I'm Dr. George Fraser from Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Brooklyn, New York. Just in case I might run into somebody from Brooklyn, so we have a little common bond there. So how do I add value? I help people turn acquaintances into friends and contacts into contracts, right? That's how I add value. And then I proved it to you. I've helped over 10,000 people secure more than $2 billion in new business. Now, if you're not interested in that, if that does not pique your interest, you will not request a card. And I bless you. I conclude the conversation. I bless you and release you, and I move on. Write a good elevator talk. Take your time. People ask me, Dr. Fraser, how long did it take you to write that talk? It took me 50 years. It's the story of my life in 71 words and less than 20 seconds. Make a good first impression by making a good introduction, and also make a good first impression by carrying a damn business card. At least 20% of the people I network with of our color, when I'm out networking here and there, and I ask them for their business card, they don't have one. And they fumble and they look in their pocket for a pen or a piece of paper. I've had people who actually run to the bathroom, got a piece of toilet paper and wrote their information on toilet paper and gave it to me. And you know what I did with that? I did with that the same thing you do with toilet paper. Have a card. Right? Don't attend a business event and you don't have a card. Have your standard cards in one pocket or one part of your purse, and then your emergency cards. You have emergency cards. I have emergency cards. That's the 6th biggest mistake. What's the 5th biggest mistake? You don't spend enough time networking. In fact, in the study that we commissioned the Gallup organization to do a decade ago on the differences between how Black people and white people network, at that time, 60% of Black people did not think networking was important. What they thought was the most important thing were their academic credentials. No, it isn't. Right? Spend more time networking. White folks in America spent about 45% of their time working on cultivating, nurturing, and building relationships at work, at home, and in the community. Black people at that time, when the study was done, a major study by the Gallup organization, we were spending less than 20% of our time cultivating and working on relationships at work, at home, and in the community. White people had about 175 well-developed contacts because they spent more time on that. We had less than 25. So I don't know how much time you are spending on cultivating, nurturing, and building relationships, but it should be at least 40% of your time, which includes the time you spend on social media, responding to text messages, responding to emails, and so forth. Spend more time. There are 4 important networks that you have to spend time on. Your personal network, these are your close circle of friends, people who cheer you on and lift you up. Let's call that your network at home. There's your operational network. These are the people who will help you to get specific tasks done in life. Whether it's your place of business, or whether it's where you work, or whether it is in an organization that you belong, or your church family that you belong to, you help them get things done, they help you get things done, and they platoon in and out of your life. This is your operational network. You work on that network and your personal network throughout your entire life. You never stop working on that. The third and final network is what I call a strategic network. And these are the people that are smarter than you. These are the people that will drag you into the 21st century kicking, screaming, and crying. If you're the smartest person in your network, you're in the wrong damn network. You don't ever want to be the smartest person in your network. So this is what very, very, very successful people do. They can lower their ego, suppress their ego, and develop a circle of friends around them at work, at home, and in the community that are smarter than them. Spend more time networking. That's the 5th biggest mistake that we tend to make. What's the 4th? We have no networking system. Everything is a system. What did I say? I hope you have a system in your business. What do you do? Or have you habitualized what it takes to, in fact, network? I have a system. There are 5 things I do every single day, 365 days a year. Automatically, habitually. That has led me to building probably one of the largest networks in the Black world at 1.3 million people. How do I keep in touch with and contact and fulfill and inspire and motivate 1.3 million? Well, I post every single day on social media. Anybody that knows me, and you can go to my Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter page, and there are words of inspiration, aspiration, tips, facts, and ideas. Some things funny, some things provocative. What are you doing to cultivate and nurture to add value to the people in your network? So, put together your system. I have a system. It works well for me. I don't have time to unpack the entire system, but it's simple. Just 5 things I do every single day, and I do them in 5s. In other words, for example, I make 5 phone calls a day to close family and friends every single day. I make at least 5 contacts a day to new people in my network. I make every single day. Every single day, I introduce 5 people to people they need to know. That is a very, very powerful thing to do. The cumulative effect of doing these things, having a system and implementing and acting on that system for 40 years has been powerful. Have a system. Third biggest mistake is you bring nothing to the table. Let me say that very quickly. God will invite everybody to the table of life to eat. But if the only thing you do when you come to the table of life is eat, and you don't bring anything to the table, you will not be invited back. And it goes down real quiet. 2 people are talking about a project. Someone brings up your name and they nod their head and said, I don't think Bob brings anything to the table. What do you bring to the table? Are you committed to lifelong learning, constant never-ending improvement, and personal growth and development? Are you, in fact, a subject matter expert? You want to succeed in life, you got to be an inch wide and a mile deep in your subject matter expertise. And then you got to be a mile wide and an inch deep in matters of the world so that you can talk about something other than what's happening on the Real Housewives of Atlanta or sports and the weather. You have to be a 360-degree person. So yes, you got to go deep on your subject matter expertise, and then you've got to be amazing. You've got to be excellent. There's a podcast I have called Black Excellence 2.0. That excellence is the base for us. Exceptionalism is the goal. Let me say that a different way. I want to say this and still be loved. If you're a Black person in this world, you're either amazing or you're invisible. You're either amazing or you're invisible. That Black people cannot afford to be average. My parents taught me many years ago, she said, Georgie boy, you're going to have to be twice as good to get half as much. Because if you're Black and mediocre in America, you better leave. Only white people can be average and mediocre. We saw that in the United States with the election of Donald Trump as compared to Barack Hussein Obama, who graduated from Harvard College and then Harvard Law School cum laude. Had Barack Hussein Obama, a Black man, had said 1/1000 or done 1/1000 of what Donald Trump had said or done, he wouldn't have been elected a freaking dog catcher in America, let alone leader of the free world. We must be amazing. So my parents were right back then. Yeah, if you're Black and mediocre in America, you better leave because you're going to be marginalized and you're ultimately going to be destroyed. We must be amazing, but the beautiful thing is we can be amazing. We are amazing. We are God's first people. We are the children of the slaves that would not die, that we have the genetic encoding of the great kings and queens of Africa, that we were building pyramids and solving complex engineering problems when other cultures were living in caves practicing cannibalism. We are God's first people. What was he thinking? The first human remains were found in the Olduvai Gorge in Ethiopia 75,000 years ago. If you're hanging out in Ethiopia, you're blue-black. We're awesome people. And if everything happens for a reason, it serves us in some special way, and we will never understand that reason looking forward, and we will only understand it looking backwards. If in fact that is the truth, and it is the truth, and in spite of the fact that America and North America kept its foot on our throat for 350 years, we overcame that and rose like the phoenix. We are very, very special and powerful people. So maybe think about this in a deeper way, brothers and sisters. Maybe we were not brought here. Maybe Africans were sent here. Do you believe that God would put his weakest people here to do his toughest job? How could an American, how could a European in North America who could biblically, spiritually, morally justify the kidnapping, raping, and pillaging of another two people, natives already in North America and Africans brought to America? How could they have any moral or spiritual grounding? So perhaps had God not sent Africans to North America, this country might have self-destructed by now. We are an awesome and powerful people, and you must bring that to the table. The final two. The second biggest mistake that we make is we think that our IQ is more important than our EQ. Wrong, 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 wrong. What is EQ, Dr. Fraser? EQ is emotional intelligence, the ability to control your five core emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and shame. And to control those emotions and use the control of those emotions in your effective communications as part of building and cultivating relationships with people at work, at home, and in the community. That's emotional intelligence. Let's call your EQ. There's a wonderful little book I'm recommending that you read called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Read that book. I bought it 12 years ago and I read it once a year. Read that book and it will change your life. What is your emotional intelligence? You can, when you get this book, take an EQ exam just like you can take an IQ exam. You take the exam online before you read it, then you take the exam after you read it and learn from it. Let me say this differently. I don't care if you have a Harvard MBA. If you have the personality of a box of rocks, you ain't going anywhere. I'm sorry. I don't care how smart you are. If you cannot get along, work with people, with and through other people, you're not going to succeed in life. This is especially critical for leaders, especially critical for business owners. Now, what is the number one mistake? Most people network to get something. Wrong. You network to give, and as you give, you get. You ain't giving, you ain't getting. If you have nothing, it's because you've given nothing. That you cannot take out of life that which you have not put into life. Are you a giver or are you a taker? Let me say that differently. I'm recommending that you give until it hurts and then give until it feels good. And that the only way to get is to give, but you never give to get. You give without conditions. And as I give to you, and there are many ways to give, right? That qualifies me to get. Now, this is biblical. Dr. Fraser didn't make this up. Are you giving? How are you giving? To whom are you giving? Are you giving without conditions? I don't give my wife flowers because she gave me chocolates. That's a condition. I don't even love you because you love me. That's a condition. I'm not going to love you unless you love me. That's a condition. No. I love you because I can and because I feel love for you. Whether you love me back at the level on which I love you, it's academic. So give first. That's what networking is all about. It's about giving. Now, I've got about 7 minutes left. So I'm going to talk about really, I think, one of the most important things that we ought to be talking about, and that is building our businesses. And we do not lack opportunity. I don't care where you are as a Black person in North America. You are not lacking opportunity. There's unlimited opportunity. There's more opportunity looking for us than we are looking for them. What we're lacking is our capacity to take advantage of those opportunities. So the 21st century for us must be about building our capacity. Let me give you a simple analogy. A bar of iron costs $5. If you make that iron into horseshoes, it's worth $12. If you make that bar of iron into needles that you sew with, it's worth $3,500. And if you make that bar of iron into balance springs that you use inside of watches, that same bar of iron is worth $300,000. So what am I saying? I'm saying to you that your own value is determined also by what you're able to make yourself into. You have no excuses. You do not rise to the level of your goals. Let me repeat this. You do not rise to the level of your goal. You rise to the level of your systems. This is what entrepreneurs know. Entrepreneurs also know that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. This is a Chinese proverb, but the best time, or the second best time to plant a tree is right now. When everything is ready, it's too late. Start now. Bust a move. Go to the edge, because that's where life is. Life is on the edge. So you must go to the edge. You must jump off the edge and grow your wings on the way down. We have to take risks. And everybody is colonizing and benefiting economically within our communities but us. White people buy land, Arabs buy stores and gas stations, East Indians buy hotels, Asians open restaurants everywhere. Asian open restaurants everywhere. In fact, there are more Chinese restaurants in the United States than every single McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell, and Starbucks combined. In fact, if you go into an Asian restaurant and there are 4 brothers waiting on you, leave. That's not a real Asian restaurant, because they don't employ Black people. They employ their own people, and we can't hate on them. And then they do their business in our community. They get the money, and then they leave. They don't want to live with you. They want to live with their own. So we have to focus on building businesses, recycling our dollars, and looking at new areas of businesses that we can take full advantage of. I don't know if we need another nail salon. I don't know. Well, actually, we don't have the nail salon business anymore. We've given that up to the Asians. We don't have the Black beauty supply business anymore. We've given that up to the Asians. So we really need to get our act together. I have found the enemy, and the enemy is us. Whenever we're pointing the finger at somebody else, there are 4 fingers pointing back at us. Where are you looking for new entrepreneurial opportunities? There are massive opportunities in the esports industry, which is bigger than the movie industry. Massive opportunities in the cannabis industry. Now, I'm not sure how legal. I think cannabis is more legal in Canada broadly speaking, than it is in the United States. Within the next 3 to 5 years, cannabis, both medicinal and recreational, will be legal in the United States. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar industry. Huge opportunity in fintech, financial technology. Everything is going to your cell phone. Huge opportunities in blockchain mining, huge opportunities in big data analytics, huge opportunities in robotics. We don't have to make robots, but we can repair them. Huge opportunities in electric cars. We don't have to build electric cars, but we can repair them. Do you know what the automotive repair industry dollar value is? Gross revenue in a given year is, certainly in the United States, $25 billion just repairing cars. Huge opportunities in online education. So what are you doing? I'm going to close with a couple of questions. I've got 2 minutes left. You can answer these questions on your own. The first question, as you build your business: are you a brand or are you a logo? What is the distinction? A brand is a promise. A logo is an artistic depiction of an idea. What is your promise? Do you even know what your promise is? Is it written down? What is your promise? Do your customers know your promise? Here's the sign on my wall in my office where I'm sitting right now. My promise is right below my logo. You see my logo. But what's the promise? The promise is to help you connect, grow, and prosper so that you can learn, earn, and return. What is your promise? Think about that. You can call it your mission, you can call it your vision, but what is your promise? Is it clear? Is it articulated? Are you repeating it on a regular basis? What, in fact, is your promise? This is huge. Think about it deeply. Find products for your customers, not customers for your products. What are the right products? What do your customers want? Build those products and sell those products to your customer. Again, we'll unpack this for 4 days at the Power Networking Conference, August the 3rd through the 6th. I close with a very special offer, and then we're going to answer some questions. Again, I did a flyby on a lot of these, but there's some very, very important points I wanted to make with you. And so, sometimes listening to me is like drinking water from a fire hose. But I want to make a very special offer. The conference is August the 3rd through the 6th. If you go to the www.Power Networking Conference website, you'll see that a full registration for an adult is $1,500, and registration for a student, we encourage you to bring a student, 17 to 25. We should be conferencing with young people so they can sit at the feet of masters, be coached and mentored by masters. A student registration is $800. So if you say one adult and one student, that's $2,300 to come to the conference. This will be our first live conference in 3 years because of the COVID pandemic, and people are chomping at the bits. And this is our 21st annual conference. Forbes magazine named the Power Networking Conference one of the top 5 conferences in America, not to be missed. Not one of the top 5 Black conferences, but one of the top 5 of all conferences. So I'm going to take $1,700 off of the $599 and give it to you for off of the $2,300 and make it $599. So $1,700 off of the $2,300 package. One adult, one student, $599. You have to get that offer through me. You have to email me at gfraser@frasernet.com. That's gfraser@frasernet.com. Put in the subject line, put "I'm in," and in the body of the email, just put your full name and your cell number. Your full name and your cell number, and I will personally call you, and we will handle our business over the phone. So I'm right here in Cleveland. Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being an awesome audience. I'll be more than happy to take questions. And Charles, thank you so much for allowing me to extend it a little bit.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have to give you a big round of applause because that was awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some questions real quick. We're going to rapid fire them, sir. And if you can just shoot them out, and
Okay.
then we're gonna move on. All right. So the quick question is: somebody wants to know again, what's your handles to follow you on social media?
George Fraser. Just go to any social media, put in George C. Fraser, and you will get the various handles. Right, George C. Fraser, LinkedIn, Facebook. They're all just do a little search, and I'll pop up. My picture will be there, and the proper handle will be there.
Okay. Most entrepreneurs tend to feel that they need to obtain secure capital first. What is your thoughts on that?
No, no, you don't. No. Um, Start where you are with what you have. Everything begins as a seed. If you have little money, start small. Right? Everybody has some money. Now, you don't need millions, and you don't even need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start it. I mean, Ebony Magazine, John H. Johnson started Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine with $500. No, I started my business with $1,000. I started small, putting on small networking events in local clubs in Cleveland, and one thing led to another. Right? The fastest way to get where you're going is to go slowly. Right? Stumble and make mistakes first. Make mistakes with small money. Learn the
Okay.
lesson, right? And then take your big money. Maybe you have to borrow it. Maybe you're looking for loans, but you want to spend the big, serious, stupid money when you have made the stupid mistakes first, and you've learned from those mistakes.
All right. Last quick question, and I just want to wrap it this real quick. Give us your thoughts on mentorship.
Critically important. You'll need, through every passage of life, there are 8 passages, each passage of 10 years apart, because you're constantly evolving. You will need mentorship through every stage of your life. You'll need coaching. If Michael Jordan needed coaching and he was the baddest on the planet, if Tiger Woods needed coaching and he was the baddest on the planet, if Dr. Fraser, I pay a coach every month and I'm the baddest in my own space, you need a coach. You need a
I love it. I love it. And just for you to say a while ago that you have a coach, right there tells us all we need mentors to keep following. Thank you so much, sir. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you. And I got my notes. I hope everybody has your notes. And if you want more information, like you said, the deal, make sure you grab this deal. It's a phenomenal deal. You'll be inspired. Make sure you grab that deal. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
God bless you. Thank you so much, and have a great conference.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, once we're getting set up for our next speaker in the chat,